Guys, deluded Guna. Romeo Lukaku. Would I take him? Yeah, I would. But let's get into it. Lukaku now, what is he? 24. He's always getting 20 plus goals in the league. Whatever way you look at it, fantastic numbers in the league. Lukaku is always going to score goals. He's been bagging 20 plus. There is some critiques. I mean, he is the sort of guy to be hot and cold in the sense that he'll go on a mad run, then his goals will dry up. And you look at the end of last year, the best example. I mean, him and Kane were basically neck and neck. Kane in the last few fixtures just moved savage, and Lukaku just couldn't bag another goal. Maybe it was lack of motivation. We all know that's the time of year where performance levels do drop if you've got nothing to play for. A lot of players, if they are going to leave, have basically started talks, and especially when he played against us at home on the last day, he very much did look like a player who knew he wasn't going to be there. For me, last season I saw him try to improve his team plays, his general play. He's seeming to try and be involved in the mix of it, as opposed to at times it just looks like he's 10 men and he's not really involved. So for sometimes I don't think he's in the box enough, but for a player that could sniff out goals like him, doesn't read the game good enough for me. But he is a bully that I do believe that's what he should stick to. He says that he looks at Suarez and Messi and Henry and these sort of guys to improve. He's an intelligent man. That's great. I mean, if you can take a little bit of all of them strikers and make it good. But you're not like them. All of them are strong dribblers. You're a strong dribbler as well, but yours is more on strength, pulling people into the channels, getting on the break. Stick to what you're good at. You're a bully. Improve your general play. Just stick to bullying and rolling people off your shoulder and putting it in the back of the net. Now Lukaku does make himself a target. He does have a habit of talking a lot. He talks a good game, and you do see him go missing in a lot of big games. He's equally turned up in a lot of big games. He didn't score against City, but he does tend to do a lot of talking and then flatters to deceive, which just brings critics on. Of course, for the sick for 70, 80 million that I'm hearing that Chelsea might be wanting him for, that United were in talks for him for. I don't know how true the United ones are, but yeah, I wouldn't take him for that. But we all know every player is going to tend to be overpriced and stuff like that. Lukaku is going to get us goals, of course, especially in regards to Arsenal and United. That's not enough to just get goals at a club. You saw Hernandez get shipped out because of that. Of course, I'm just giving you guys an example. You need to have more about you than just goals, or if you're going to be that, you need to be a poacher. But in current times, Arsenal definitely can't. Well, it would be nice to have a poacher, but we do need someone who can contribute in regards to general play. Because you look at our strikers. Say what you want about Alexis through the middle. Say what you want about Wells through the middle. You even say what you want about Theo Walcott through the middle. Me myself talk a lot about that. General play, they tend to be involved. That's what we need. Lukaku, if I sign him, I know what I'm getting. I'm not gonna get general play too tough. I'm gonna get goals. So if it's just based on that, primarily what a striker is meant to do and is bought for, fair enough. That's what he's gonna score. But we do need a bit more. Like I said, I have seen him try to improve his general play, but it needs to come up a bit. For me, he needs to anticipate things a bit more because when he's not up for it, he just ball watches and he's non-respondent and things like that. But he is a good player. I mean, how many goals did he bag this year? How many goals has he been bagging? Lukaku, no brainer. Of course, there's some strikers I'd rather go for. If you're talking 70, 80 for Lukaku, I'll bring you guys back to when the Dortmund chairman said 60 million euros for Aubameyang, and I think Aubameyang has definitely better general play than Lukaku. Fair enough, it's in Germany, but he's bagging goals. I find that more value for money. I actually find that more value for money than that. Now, I'd rather buy Morata for them fees as well than Lukaku, and I say this because, of course, it looks ridiculous. Lukaku does trumps Morata's numbers 10 times over, in my opinion, without looking at their stats. Morata's never even had one season that Lukaku has had, and his critics tend to forget and things like that. And based on that, Lukaku, if you had to bet your life on it, Lukaku is probably going to outscore Morata throughout the season based on that. But not to make it about Morata. The general play, the things I look for in a footballer, in regards to a striker, the things I look for past the goals into a striker, Morata has that. I can see him adding goals to his game. For me, I think it's easier to add goals to a striker's game. Of course, there's certain things you can't teach them. Like, to a degree, you can't teach people to be in the right place at the right time. You can give them tips, but you look at the likes of Inzaghi, that stuff's born into you. But I do believe if a guy has all the general play and all of them things, and he just needs to learn how to finish and things like that, that can be worked on. Look at Thierry Henry. I'm not saying that it always goes like that, but yeah, then regards to if you haven't got the general play, you haven't got it. If I was Lukaku personally, I rate him, like I said, for trying to improve his general play and ultimately trying to become a better footballer. But for me, I'm what, 6 foot plus, however many pounds or stones or whatever. I can pretty much barge off the toughest of centre backs in this league. I'll be sticking to that. Like Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously Cristiano Ronaldo's changed his game in the sense that he doesn't get into certain areas, he conserves his energy. Do something like that. Get into certain areas, help your team, especially defensively, because I think he can improve in that. Help your team, and just stay in positions where you can dominate the game. Like I said, rolling people over. Because when he rolls people over and he gets that ball into his feet and he's dribbling down the channel, few people are going to stop him. Few people. He can be a bit more clinical as well. But yeah, few people are going to stop him. Few people are going to match him in the air if he goes for it. Few defenders can stop the guy if he beats the offside track. He is pretty quick for a big lad. I'll be sticking to that. So I would take Lukaku definitely, but not for them overpriced fees. There's a lot of other strikers I'd rather be pay inflation on and overpriced fees on. But that doesn't mean Lukaku's a bad player. Lukaku is a very good player. His career did stall a bit at Chelsea. Do you think he made that move too early? Because I remember watching him at Anderlecht. He had a lot more about his game, and he just, for a number of years for me, he just looked a shadow of his former self, depressed, playing catch up. But I would take Lukaku. The guy's clearly going to move. Is probably going to go be back to Chelsea because he's playing coy on that stuff, and United are probably going to get Morata. Spurs ain't going to buy him. We're not going to buy him for them fees. United are going, like I said, United are going over to other people. City not going to get him. So yeah, you'd like to think it's only Chelsea, if that, or abroad. So who knows what's going to happen? But if it did come about, of course I would take Lukaku. You can't say no to that. He's even turned up against us. But guys, deluded goon, I'm signing out. Oh yeah, final point. He can be a bit of a flat track bully at times. I get that. But yeah, guys, I'm signing out. Comment, subscribe. You guys know the drill. Thank you for watching. Lukaku, yeah.